by Alim Latif from ROKER Shoes. And we're going to speak to him today about his new brand, which is billed as genderless. You've also probably seen his shoes all over Harry Styles, who's been wearing them a lot lately. So I wanted to speak to him a little bit about his career, his work, the future of fashion, and also if you have any questions, please feel free to type them in and we'll get to them at the end. So Alim, welcome to New York.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Yes, so tell me a little bit about how you got started in footwear.
Right, well, I have actually got a background in science, so I studied as a scientist and then I fell into PR and marketing, and I did health and beauty PR marketing, and then as I was doing that, I'd always do something creative on the side, and then as a result, I did a few courses at London College of Fashion and Footwear. So I did one course, I did another one, and then I did another one, and that's kind of...
What drew you to footwear?
What drew me to footwear? It's the kind of technical side, because it's a very functional object at the end of the day, you know, and it's, you know, good design has to be very functional, and you know, you see all these extravagant outfits and things like that, but you know, footwear I feel is so much more important because, as they say, if you're not in a pair of shoes, then you're lying back on bed. So if you're not in your bed, you're in your shoes. So I feel it's a very important thing.
And you started off on Savile Row, yes?
No, not in Savile Row. So I worked in Notting Hill.
In Notting Hill, right,
yes.
okay.
So it was in
but you were working in a very bespoke environment,
yes,
where the shoes are made right there in the UK.
Yeah, absolutely. So they're all made in London, and the type of bespoke that we do depends on the customer. So it can be full bespoke, which is we'll make the last from scratch and then base the design on that last. And or we might have someone who comes in and tries on a sample shoe, and so it's almost semi-bespoke. We might adjust an existing last to fit that customer, and then base the shoe on that kind of.
And what's the average turnaround to make a shoe from scratch that way, where you are developing a brand new last for someone, a whole new style that we've never seen before, and in their chosen specifications and fabrication?
I mean, it depends on how busy we are, but we can do it quite quickly, or sometimes it takes a long time. It can be anything from 3 weeks to 6 weeks. You know, it kind of depends on the style, depends on the customer, depends on the client's fit. Sometimes people have quite problematic feet, so we have to kind of contend with that. So it varies, but yeah, we can do it in 3 weeks if we need to.
Well, there's a lot of people that make bespoke or custom shoes, but when you first came onto my radar, and what struck me immediately is when we started looking at the shoes that you were doing at London Fashion Week, and this is from this season, it's your second season, collaborating with Charles Jeffrey on these really, really wild, different, statement-making boots. We're talking platforms and heels, intended for men or women.
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
So how did you develop this kind of daring, bold, different aesthetic? How did you know that these were the type of shoes you wanted to make?
I mean, in London particularly, I feel it's a very exciting time with regards to, you know, there's a lot of drag artists there who are kind of pushing that. There are people like Charles who, you know, Charles Jeffrey Loverboy, and he has his lover boys, which are his kind of muses, the people he hangs out with, the people he goes out with, and they're part of this scene who are, you know, I want to wear a dress today, so I'm just going to wear a dress. But you come to, you know, they want to wear a heel, or they want to wear a boot with, you know, a higher heel than, say, a Cuban heel. Then they're at a loss. What do they do? You know, you often come in and...
So it's almost like you sense that there was a void in the marketplace for men who want kind of rock and roll heels.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because, you know, we had all the kind of platforms in the 70s and people wearing that, but it feels like that's kind of disappeared somewhat, and now you've got all these, you know, people like in their 20s who are like well, I actually want to wear a heel. I don't want to wear a glam rock boot. I want to wear something a bit more modern, something a bit more kind of thought out. So, you know, we are kind of developed that. Not as a result, I don't feel like as a result of that need, it's more, you know, why can't we be a bit more kind of open-minded and be a bit more kind of, you know, accessible and, you know, be inclusive? Because it's like, why shouldn't a man wear a, you know, a higher heel than, you know, what you can get on the market currently? And as we've made these heels, we've had quite a few people who have said, oh my god, I love the heel. I usually wear this brand, but they only go to this height. Or, you know...
Do you feel like men are wearing... we'll reconnect.
Oh, we're live. We're back.
So you were saying about how transgender groups are more part of our conversation now when it comes to being inclusive.
Yeah, and that's so important. You know, before they've been kind of not been given a voice. But with regards to footwear, ultimately men and women do have different sized feet. You know, women tend to have more wider feet. Men tend to have more wider feet than women. So if you are you know, if you've made that transition from male to female or female to male, then you are still kind of restricted by what you can wear. And I don't feel that's right. Like, why should it be like that?
And shoes are one of those things that makes anyone kind of feel the most themselves, you know, or change how you're feeling. You can really change your mood or change your persona that you're projecting to the world if you change your shoes. So I see what you're saying. Having a shoe that fits properly, depending on how you want to present yourself, is really important. So how did that concept, which I love, become this idea for your brand of gender neutral or genderless?
I think for traditionally, you know, everyone can wear a derby, everyone can wear a brogue, and they're, you know, they are gender neutral, really, if you look at it. But then, you know, as soon as you start going to like a stiletto, for example, it's not easy for someone who, you know, is male to go out and buy a stiletto. You know, they have to go and buy a certain type, or maybe go to a certain retailer, a certain, you know, why shouldn't they wear those things? So it's more kind of thinking, well, you know, why can't I do that?
Right, why not?
Why not? You know, I'd like to think we're in a society that, you know, we are becoming more and more kind of thinking about other people, being more, like I said, more kind of accepting of other people. So why can't we accept things that have been traditionally worn by women to be worn by men? And on the flip side, you know, you get a lot of women wanting to wear, for example, things that are very kind of
I'm going to stop you. Oh, and we're back, as always. All right. Can you just repeat the question?
Yes, I was just saying, you're from the north of the UK, and here in New York, or where you live in London, no one bats an eye at people being more experimental with their look, but how do they react to your work back up there where you're from?
I think everyone's very proud. I think, you know, at the end of the day, I feel like what we're doing is very kind of creative, and we are pushing that, and I think people from Sunderland are very proud, and they're very proud of people that go on to kind of do well, and so I think they're all really happy about that. As with regards to kind of perception of the actual styles, I think because they are what they are, they probably feel quite removed from that, so they probably see it as just a creative expression. I think I haven't actually been out there and kind of spoken to a lot of people in Sunderland. I know my family are very proud and they're still in the northeast, but I think they just see it as very much a creative kind of expression that someone from kind of Sunderland has gone out and kind of doing that.
Well, speaking of proud, what is it like seeing Harry Styles wear your shoes on the red carpet or on James Corden or at a concert? What's that like?
Do you know what? It's really satisfying. It just makes me feel very proud, like you just said. You know, everyone knows Harry Styles. He's one of the most kind of famous people in the world. He has always had his own sense of style. So when you're doing something quite creative, you know, and then to have someone like that wearing what you're making, you know, the feeling is kind of indescribable.
Mm-hmm.
He himself is very creative. You know, he, you know, you can see that in his music. You can see that in what he's wearing.
Mm-hmm.
And if I could have anyone wear my shoes, you know, it would be Harry Styles at the end of this. So I feel very fortunate that that's just happened.
What's been your favorite pair that you've made for him that he's worn?
That he's worn. I think my favourite pair has been. It's a difficult one. This one. I actually prefer the crystal pair that actually James Corden wore, but I haven't seen Harry
Wore them
wear
as well.
Yeah, I haven't seen Harry wear them
Or
yet.
James Corden borrowed them.
Borrowed them,
from you.
yeah. So it's when he was doing that late show with James Corden,
Yes.
I think that's what it's called, isn't it? He actually dressed up as Harry Styles, and they were one of the shoes that he's wearing. They would be my favourite, but
all these English icons in your
I
shoes,
know,
right?
I know. But I have to say, I mean, it is a very British brand at the end of the day. You know, it's, you know, we make bespoke shoes and we make them in London. And you know, my brand is called ROKER, which is where I'm from in Sunderland. You know, so it's very nice that we've got all these British people wearing them.
Yes. So, what did I just ask you again? What was my last question?
I think.
Oh, advice for young designers. That's very important.